Datalyzer FMEA also supports the creation and management of control plans. During the development of a new product and a new process, three types of control plans are used: the prototype control plan, the pre-launch control plan, and the production control plan. When you move from the prototype phase to the pre-launch phase, you can issue the document, and after issuing, make the required changes for the next phase. This way, the documents stay linked. If you prefer, you can also make a copy, but then the link between documents is not there anymore. Ideally, the production control plan document is linked to the process FMEA. From the process FMEA, you can automatically create a linked control plan. To create a linked control plan, go to the menu option Tools, and then click on Create Linked Control Plan. Automatically, the control plan is created. You see that the first two columns in the control plan are taken from the appropriate fields in the process FMEA. What fields are used depends on the template used. The color red indicates the fields are linked. In the control plan, you cannot change the contents of these columns or add steps. If you want to make changes, you need to make changes in the FMEA. The header information of the control plan is also automatically copied from the FMEA and can be adjusted if required. When you open a control plan after a change in steps in the process FMEA, the system will automatically detect these changes and it will automatically update the control plan. This way you are assured that the FMEA and control plan stay correctly linked, and you never forget to update the control plan document after you have made changes in the FMEA document. Data from an FMEA can be automatically used in the control plan. To make this possible in the FMEA, you need to make sure the settings in the FMEA preferences are correct. In the menu option Tools, click on Preferences, and then select the tab FMEA. To import the requirements, make sure the option Use Requirement ID in Process FMEA is set, and the option Use Requirement Category in Process FMEA is not set. Then you need to set the three options to link FMEA information to the control plan fields. Information which can be copied from FMEA to control plan is the requirement IDs, the characteristic names, the specifications, the classification symbols, and the control methods. Data can be copied into the control plan from the FMEA by selecting the option Copy Information from Linked FMEA in the menu option File. If you click this option, you get a warning that existing data will be overwritten, and if you press Yes, the data will be copied. In the different FMEA manuals, like AIAG-VDA, there is no indication how to link FMEA and control plan. So in practice, we see a lot of different methods. To support linkage between FMEA and control plan, we have added functionality to support more advanced linking. For example, in the AIAG-VDA method, during the function analysis phase, you need to enter the information about the function of the process step and the product characteristic, but only part of this information should be used in the control plan. So when you open that field, you will see 4 different fields to make it possible to extract the required information for the control plan. In the next column, where you enter the function of the work element and the process characteristic, you have the same options. To avoid the same information being copied multiple times to the control plan, similar options are available in the control prevention and control detection fields. You can create a control plan from a process FMEA, but you can also create a control plan directly from the document catalog screen, or use the option to import from Excel. If you directly create a control plan or import from Excel, you can later link it to an FMEA. To be able to link, all process steps and function fields must be exactly the same in the FMEA and in the control plan. Editing a control plan document works similar to editing a process FMEA. You can edit the header fields of the control plan. Adding and editing fields works the same as in the FMEA document. The control plan document supports adoptions in the same way as it is used in FMEA documents. When you link a control plan to an FMEA, adopted FMEA steps are not part of the linked control plan. You need to adopt the control plan steps in the same way as the FMEA steps have been adopted in the FMEA document. The control plan is often used on the shop floor to support operators in their quality control activities. Therefore, it is important to standardize the control plan as much as possible. For each column in the control plan, you can create standard texts. To create standard texts, go to the menu option Setup in the main menu and select Standard Text. Click the control plan and the column name and enter the standard options. When editing a cell, these standard texts appear and you can select from these options. Another important reason to work with standard text is that Datalyzer supports the translation of the content of the documents. To make that possible, you have to provide the translations of the possible strings in the document. These translations will be stored in the database and used when printing the control plan in the required language. The control plan information is used on the shop floor in different ways. First, you can export the control plan information to the Datalyzer real-time SPC system so you can enter the data in real time. This is explained in another video. The control plan is sometimes printed directly. In that case, you do not always want to print every line for the operator. So you can use the filter column at the end to select which line should be printed. Check the relevant lines, and in the View menu, deselect the option to show unselected lines. Only the selected lines can now be printed. The third option is you can print an inspection plan based on an Excel template. In the Setup menu of the catalog, you can set up an inspection template and define an inspection plan. An inspection plan can contain a data entry sheet and/or work instructions.